This is supposed to be a joyous season, and I can't imagine anything more joyous than today's Time for All Ages and the song from the choir. My goodness. In Los Angeles, 100 years ago this Christmas Eve, famed naturalist and Sierra Club founder John Muir passed from the earth he loved so well. Muir lived in the Bay Area, but he had deep connections in Southern California to both the land and the people. In his last public appearance, Muir emerged unannounced from the woods at Griffith Park and spent an evening in the light of a Sierra Club campfire, leaving indelible memories for those who were there. Born in Scotland, Muir was deeply drawn to American transcendentalism, and in adulthood traveled to Emerson's home and to Thoreau's Walden to imbibe their spirit. Thanks to the warmth and power of his writing and his practical impact on the conservation movement, the circle of those who appreciate and even love Muir is large. Muir was a progressive who sounded great themes that made nature relevant to human experience in an era of cultural change. First among these themes is that nature should be considered sacred in itself, whatever its source, whether from the deliberate intention of a supreme creative power or by the mysterious conjunction of astrophysical forces. This crucial evolution in Muir's thought arose from his own life experience growing up in a severely strict religious household and then discovering the natural world on his own. In seeing the creation anew, he made nature accessible to people holding a vast range of beliefs. Muir presented his message in lofty language, not surprising for one whose only permitted reading as a child was the Bible. The result is original thought expressed in classic eloquence. Another of Muir's themes is wilderness as an aspect of nature. Muir celebrated wilderness. Today, some believe that his longing for wilderness must be replaced by an emphasis on nature in settings that are urban and accessible. Close attention to Muir's writings reveals that his fascination was with nature itself, not with wilderness as a restrictive category. Muir's attention and imagination could be captured as fully by a leaf or a dewdrop as by a sweeping mountain panorama. He raises our awareness, sensitivity, and capacity for response as we encounter nature in the full range of settings, from the wilderness vastation of which Thoreau spoke to a dewdrop on a leaf in a vest pocket park in the heart of the city. Muir's message amplifies devotion to nature wherever we encounter it. Did Muir's raptures arise in a lost age before today's resource exploitation and urban development? History tells a different story. California's modern era began with a massive act of disruptive resource extraction, the gold rush, in the heart of Muir's beloved Sierra Nevada. In Muir's prime years, the corridor between the Bay Area and Yosemite hummed with human activity. Much of it was not pretty. Logging and the use of Yosemite Valley for purposes hugely incompatible with its setting. The simplest and clearest way to determine if Muir remains relevant is to ask where things would stand without him. There would have been no visit by Teddy Roosevelt to Yosemite. None of the stunning eloquence from Teddy and Muir about the national park system, America's best idea. No founding of what is now a worldwide circle of friends of nature known as the Sierra Club, raising devotion for the planet from an individual sentiment to a sustained commitment. Far less chance that a host of other environmental organizations would have arisen from the Sierra Club model. Without Muir, no redefinition of nature from God's handiwork to sacred in itself, and thus no invitation to people of all belief systems to join in the feast. Without Muir, no supreme prophet speaking for justice toward nature, as the prophets of old spoke for justice in human society. Yet at the end of the day, the point is not to see Muir as a traditional religious figure, but as a human being, moved by the warmest glow of enthusiasm, asking us to share his joy as we encounter nature. He had no doubt this deeper knowing would bring us to a place of greater devotion to nature. Thus the Sierra Club motto, preserve, protect, enjoy. What can we give back in response to his gift? We must strive to be the teachers of today and tomorrow, motivated as he was by a passion for the planet specific to our time, yet relevant to all time. Muir anticipated much that has brought us to this felt moment of peril upon the earth. Muir was an idealist and thus, in a certain sense, a pessimist in the face of surrounding evidence. Muir was a prophet and thus, in a certain sense, a voice of warning. Yet also, Muir was a visionary and thus, in a certain sense, an optimist. His was a voice of inspiration who, with unmatched eloquence, celebrated the reward that might be ours if we act as stewards of the human future, which inescapably means being stewards of earth. We are his heirs in our relationship with nature. He has done much to make us conscious of who we are, what we are made of, and the choices before us. Thus, the ongoing relevance of his words, whatever may be the outcome that so clearly hangs in the balance. Earth is our living environment, yet the forms of nature expressed on earth are a source of many things beyond the physical. Our connection with nature is a source of affirmation, gratitude, wholeness, and harmony. Many of us recall the passage in the Bible where Jesus says, "Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these." The point is not that lilies are pretty to look at, but that they express some mysterious power, and the result resonates deeply for us. In this sense, Jesus was a nature mystic. I'd like to spend the rest of my time today with you this morning sharing and comparing 8 passages from John Muir with reflections on nature from 2 traditions: Sufism, which Emerson studied, and Native American wisdom. Sufism is Islamic mysticism. I will quote from a Sufi tradition known as the Most Beautiful Names, which describe the qualities of God. Many of the Native American quotes are from a Cherokee Book of Days, and they include wisdom from many tribes. I will refer to these as Amerindian sayings, American Indian sayings. And I'll indicate as we begin each new set of readings, because each set is closely connected, and then it moves on to another theme. First reading, Muir says, "Climb the mountains and get their glad tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves." Sufis say, Allah wills total goodwill upon creation. Allah wills total good upon creation. Allah invites us to join the divine feast. Allah revives us repeatedly in the midst of life in ways we do not suspect. Amerins say, listen to the air, listen to the earth breathing, listen to the stars go across the sky. Tell them how we loved all that was beautiful. The second reading, Muir says, nothing goes unrecorded. Every word of leaf and snowflake and particle of dew, as well as earthquake and avalanche, is written down in nature's book. Sufis say, Allah is conscious of an ant creeping on a huge boulder in the pitch dark of night. Allah knows when an atom is set in motion or stilled, and when a breath is disturbed or silenced. Amerins say, what is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night, the breath of a buffalo in wintertime, the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset. Third reading, Muir says, I only went out for a walk and finally decided to stay until sundown. For going out, I concluded, was really going in. Sufis say, Allah is the enveloping one who enables creation to merge with the divine. Allah is the maker whose works include the perfected human being. Amarins say, when the sun goes down, we open our hearts before God. Fourth reading, Muir says, for us there is no past, no future. We live in the present and are full. Sufis say, Allah neither hastens nor delays, but brings about all things in their predestined way. Amarins say, there is no time, which is but an illusion for imperfect eyes. There is only the complete rounded moment, which contains all. Fifth reading, Muir says, like trees in autumn shedding their leaves, going to dust like beautiful days to night, proclaiming as with tongues of angels the natural beauty of death. Sufis say, Allah employs death as the completion of life. Amarins say, today would be a perfect day to die, a day to leave something of yourself behind, to let it linger, a day for a holy man to come to the end of his trail. Sixth reading, Muir says, at times one's whole body is an eye, and common skill and fortitude are replaced by power beyond our call or knowledge. Sufis say, Allah is the light of faith and wisdom that illuminates the eye of the heart. Amarins say, we see not only with our two eyes, but with the one eye, which is the heart, with which we see all that is good and true. Seventh reading, Muir says, from form to form, beauty to beauty, ever changing, never resting, all are speeding on with love's enthusiasm, singing with the stars the eternal song of creation. Sufis say, Allah contains the circle of existence. Allah's essence embodies infinite potential. Allah is the embracing one who holds creation in compassionate grace. Amarins say, we searched for the source of life, and at last came to the thought that it issues from an invisible power, which we named Wakan Tanka, the maker of all. To honor him, we must honor his works. And the eighth and final reading, Muir says, we rejoice and exult in the imperishable wealth of the universe and faithfully watch and wait the reappearance of everything that melts and fades and dies about us. Sufis say, Allah binds all of creation together with the invisible thread of need. Allah cares for each part of creation as if it were all of creation. And Amarins say, we see the changes of day and night, the seasons, the stars, the moon, the sun. Anyone must know it is the work of someone more powerful than man. There endeth the readings. These sayings reveal much about our relation to nature, and the amazing similarity among them suggests there may actually be something out there and inside us to which they refer. I'd like to close with a hadith or saying of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. These words are presented as God explaining to us why there is something rather than nothing. I was a hidden treasure. I wished to be known, so I created the creation. Amen. Namaste. Blessed be.